I need you to hear something that most people won't tell you. Every dollar you're sending to a credit card company, every car payment, every student loan payment, that is money that will never build your future. And here's the part that should make you sit up a little straighter. As a single woman, the cost of that debt is double what it would be in a two-income household, because there's no second paycheck absorbing the loss, no partner's 401k growing while you pay down your past. It's just you. And every month you carry that debt, your retirement is getting smaller. But here's what I want you to know. This is not about shame. This is about strategy. And once you see the real math, you'll know exactly what to do. Hi, I'm Teresa. And as a certified financial coach, I've sat across from enough single women to tell you this. Debt is not a money problem. It's a future problem. Let me show you what I mean. Say you're paying $400 a month toward credit card debt. That's $400 that is not going into a retirement account. Over 30 years at a 7% return, $400 a month becomes over $480,000. That's right, nearly $500,000 gone. Not because you didn't earn it, but because it was already spoken for before you could invest a single dollar. Now, a married couple might have one person paying down debt while the other is still contributing to a 401k. They can do two things at once, but when you're doing everything yourself, every dollar can only go to one place. And when it's going to debt, it's not going to your future. That's not a character flaw. That's math. And math can be fixed. Let me give you a number that changed how I see debt forever. If you're carrying a credit card balance at 22% interest and also trying to invest for retirement at 7% return, you are losing 15% on every single dollar you're not throwing at that debt. The math is brutal. Paying off a credit card charging 22% is mathematically the same as earning a guaranteed 22% return on your money. You cannot find that anywhere in the stock market. It doesn't exist. So when I tell a single woman, let's get you out of debt before we supercharge your retirement, it's not about being conservative. It's about being smart. Every dollar you free up from debt is a dollar that can start working for you instead of working for Visa, MasterCard, or Sallie Mae. Here's where it gets even more real. When you're carrying debt, what happens when the car breaks down, or the medical bill shows up, or the water heater gives out? You can't reach into an emergency fund you don't have. So the debt gets deeper. The credit card gets swiped again. And here's the spiral. No emergency fund means every surprise pushes you further from your retirement, because not only are you not saving, you're going backward. I work with single women who are making excellent money, 6 figures, and they still feel broke. Why? Because their income is walking out the door the minute it arrives, to debt payments, to interest, to the past. Getting out of debt isn't just about being debt-free. It's about building the emergency fund that protects your retirement. So the next time life happens, it doesn't knock your future off course. I'm going to say this as loving as I can. The credit card company doesn't care that you're 42. The student loan servicer doesn't care that you're 48. They'll take your payments as long as you'll send it to them. But your retirement, it runs on a clock. Every year you spend paying off debt is a year compound interest can't work for you. And I showed you earlier what losing that decade cost, $500,000 or more. So this isn't about whether you can retire someday. It's about whether you'll retire with dignity or with anxiety. And you deserve dignity. Now, I don't want you to just hear this and feel overwhelmed. I want you to have a tool that starts shifting these things this week, because before you can pay off debt or build retirement, you have to know where your money is actually going, not where you think it's going, where it's actually going. That's why I created my free 7-day spend and reset plan. 7 days, no judgment, no complicated budgeting software, just a simple way to see every dollar and find the leaks that are keeping you stuck. When I did this with one of my clients, she found $300 a month she didn't even know was slipping through. $300. That's the start of a retirement contribution or extra debt payments. Either way, it changes your trajectory. The link is right below this video. Grab it. 5 minutes a day, 1 week, total clarity. So now let's get back practical, because I don't just want you to understand the problem. I want you to have a plan. Here's the approach I use with my coaching clients. Step 1, stop adding to the debt. Cut up the cards if you need to. Freeze them. Take them out of your Apple Pay. Whatever it takes to stop the bleeding, do it. Step 2, list every debt from smallest to largest, not by interest rate, by balance. And why? Because as a single woman, you need to see progress. When you pay off the first small debt in 90 days, you feel momentum. And momentum is what keeps you going when it gets hard. Step 3, when one debt is gone, roll that payment into the next one. Don't give yourself a raise, give your future a raise. And here's what I want you to hear. You don't have to eat beans and rice and never see the sunlight. This is not about desperation. It's about decisions. It's about knowing that every dollar you send to debt today is a dollar that could be building your future life tomorrow. Progress, not perfection. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine waking up and knowing nobody has claim on your next paycheck except for you. No credit card statements, no loan payments, just your income and your decisions. Now imagine that same month, you're putting $500 into a Roth IRA and $200 into an emergency fund, and you're sleeping at night because you know you're building something. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when debt stops stealing your future. And here's what excites me most. Once that debt is gone, your retirement contributions can explode because all that money that was going to payments is yours again, every single dollar. Let's say you were paying $800 a month toward debt. Once that's cleared, you redirect that $800 to retirement. Over 20 years at 7%, that's over $415,000. That is what's on the other side of this. I want to leave you with a word from Scripture because this conversation isn't just about money. It's about your freedom. Proverbs 22:7 says, "The rich rules over the poor, and the borrower is the slave of the lender." Now, I want to be careful here because I never want you to walk away feeling condemned. Never. This is not the heart of this verse. What this verse is saying that debt puts something between you and your freedom. It puts someone else in the driver's seat of your future. And God didn't create you to be ruled by a credit card statement. He created you to be a steward, wise, intentional, and free. Getting out of debt is not just a financial decision. It's a declaration that you will not be a slave to your past while God is calling you into your future. And I believe with everything in me that God has a plan for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. But you can't grab hold of that future with both hands if one hand is still holding on to debt. You are not alone in this, and you don't have to do it alone. Let me leave you with what matters most. Number 1, every dollar in debt is a dollar that can't build your retirement. For a single woman, that cost is doubled. Number 2, paying off high interest debt is the best guaranteed return you will ever get on your money. Number 3, without an emergency fund, debt keeps pulling you backward every time life happens. Number 4, the payoff strategy is simple. Please stop the bleeding. Smallest debt first. Roll the payments forward. And number 5, on the other side of debt is your freedom, a retirement that's funded, a future that's yours. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, Teresa, I see the problem, but I don't know where to start. That's exactly what I do. I'm a certified financial coach, and I sit down one-on-one with single women just like you to build a plan that fits your life. Not a podcast script, not generic advice, your numbers, your goals, your path to freedom. I'd love to have that conversation with you in a financial clarity call. It's an honest conversation, and it's the first step toward a future that's not weighed down by debt. The link to book that call is in the description. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Crush that debt. And as always, you got this. See you the next time.